sickle cell disease, a lot of times inaitwa sickle cell anemia because you're prone to be anemic. The blood in itself, IG support, haiko enough.
So do you feel like pain?
Yes, sometimes unapata hiyo pain when the blood is breaking down, imeshikana kwa joints, unasikia uchungu. Now that is
between the 12 to how many days?
No, it can happen randomly. Huwezi panga when you're in pain. Sometimes too, the cells zina decide when to break down. They're sickling. It's called sickling, yeah. So they can sickle at any time. Zinaweza break down at any time. So this can create a painful experience, ndio sasa tunaita crisis.
Saseni mkofiti, welcome back for another beautiful and amazing episode of Cele's Reflection. By the way, I hope dads you had a beautiful weekend, right? I hope mlifeel to more appreciate, okay? Hata kama offers hazikuwa mingi za Father's Day, I hope you felt the love. Yes, and today we have another episode, so thank you for tuning in, thank you for joining. Today we are going to learn. Leo niko class, hata mimi mwenyewe niko class. Our guest is a very wonderful person. Ali reach out kwa email, thecelestindinda@gmail.com, and I love it whenever someone reaches out and whatever they are addressing or whatever they want us to talk about is something that inaweza tusaidia both Sele and you. So yeah, so today I'm here with Tracy.
Yes.
If it were not for you, like singejua kesho, June 19th. We observe it as a World Sickle Cell Day.
Yes.
Singejua. So thank you so much for reaching out. And welcome to this show. Tunapenda wageni sana.
Asante sana. I feel welcome. Feel very happy that you're having this conversation, an important one, creating awareness about sickle cell.
Yeah.
Yes, and even in celebration of the World Sickle Cell Day, which is tomorrow.
Yeah, so utaji introduce, that is your camera, then we can start.
Okay. So my name is Tracy. I am a health advocate. I am a sickle cell warrior. So what does it mean to be a sickle cell warrior? It means you're born with sickle cell disease, which is a genetic kind of illness, which means it's passed to you through the genes of your parents, not through any other decision or any other thing, just genetically. So that's what sickle cell is. Just in brief or in general.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And when you reached out, I went, like, nika Google kiasi.
Okay.
Nika Google the theme this year. It is Tell It Loud. So I'm happy you're here because we are going to tell it loud.
Yes.
Most of us, some of us, like, we've seen it online, we've seen it, but we haven't understood exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And I love that you've said it's a genetic. It's not something you did, what. It's just, it happened.
Yes.
So I would love to hear your story. Maybe start by your story. When did you learn that you have it? Were you young? What happened?
Okay.
Yes.
So for me, as Tracy, looking back, I can always remember, going to hospital. And then from when I could understand, I could hear term sickler. So I was like, okay, what does this mean? So later on is when I realized it's sickle cell. And I had to go to hospital quite frequently, like for checkups with a hematologist, which is a blood doctor. I know. Because if this is a health condition, there might be some quite hospital-like terms. Yeah, but
how old were you?
Yeah. From when I was very young, because this is a condition you're born with. So I think my mom knew about it from when I was really young. I think when I was around 1 year old. Yes. Yeah, that's when she found out about it. So I kept on going to hospital for checkups and all of that. Yeah, so that was the only difference that I kind of had in my upbringing. Number one, the hospital visit. Sometimes I would get admitted. I would always have to keep warm, dress warm when you're going to school. You have to drink a lot of water to help you cope. Yeah, and even as we talk, I'll help you to understand why all these things are important or how they even affect a person who has sickle cell disease.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to hear your journey, like going to the hospitals, because this is how I feel. How do you feel? How does it affect you? Like, did you go to school? So I
Yeah.
want your journey.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So kuna kwenda shule, kuna kustop kwenda shule because of admission.
Yeah, kuna kwenda shule. I went to school, but for me, I didn't really get affected much, whereby kuna gaps. Ilikuwa inabidi nisikue shuleni, or I'm missing a lot from school. So sometimes you'd find I get painful crisis. So crisis is something that happens to persons with sickle cell because of how our blood looks like. Do you know the crescent shape? Or the C shape, the harvester, I think in Kikuyu they call it tara or something like that.
Yes, the crescent,
so
ya moon.
it's that ka shape. So our blood is not a complete round disc shaped like the normal kind of red blood cell, which takes like about 120 days living within the human body. So for us, you find our red blood cell is different type of shape, that C shape, disc shape. It dies faster, breaks down faster within like 10 to 15 days.
And the full one takes around 120?
120 days, 90 to 120 days. Yeah, so now you see there's that deficiency. It means, number one, since it's in the red blood cell, it affects the oxygen in the body, which is now the energy within the body. And since the cell is breaking down a lot, that means within the body there's a lot of inflammation. This means a lot of infections. So that's why I think when you go to hospital, they refer to persons with sickle cell as sicklers, because you're prone to falling ill. You're prone to getting a lot of infections. Yes.
So does that mean you need blood every now and then?
Yes, that means you need blood every now and then, because sickle cell disease, a lot of times inaitwa sickle cell anemia, because you're prone to be anemic. The blood in itself, IG support, haiko enough.
So do you feel like pain?
Yes, sometimes unapata hiyo pain when the blood is breaking down, imeshikana kwa joints, unasikia uchungu. Now that is
between the 12 to how many days?
No, it can happen randomly. Huwezi panga when you're in pain. Sometimes too, the cells zina decide when to break down. They're sickling. It's called sickling, yeah. So they can sickle at any time. Zinaweza break down at any time. So this can create a painful experience, ndio sasa tunaita crisis. Some explain it as maybe being hit, like nails inakugwara. Some explain it as glass or hot liquid flowing within you inakuumiza.
Because the pain is across the
blood.
body.
Yeah, it's the blood that's causing you to have pain. See the bone, see like a flesh kind of pain.
Na see one part.
Ni the
entire body.
Inaweza songa. But most times it affects the joints. Yeah, so you can find the knees, back pain, wrists or elbows, something like that.
So, and this has been your journey like ever since?
Yeah.
So what do you do? So are there painkillers? Ama every time you feel pain, you have to go to the hospital?
Sasa kuna different therapies. Because number one, this is a condition you're born with. You have to understand how to live with it. So yes, the pain can get to that level whereby you need to be rushed to hospital. Ukienda hospital, they'll do for you different kind of therapies like hydration. So unaekewa drip to help the blood flow. Utadungwa painkillers to help you manage the pain. But mind you, this is a pain that's happening to you because the blood is breaking down. So si pain utameza kama headache, that you'll take a tablet and then it just goes. It's a pain you have to manage. Yes, you have to flow with it.
So as Tracy, how do you manage it?
It's gone differently with age.
Over time?
Yes, over time. Over time in a change, because when you're young, definitely hospital, you have to take the painkillers, you have to relax, you have to just see how itaisha when itaisha. As you grow older, you now become more aware. you start avoiding the things that now will cause the pain. Like for example, you start avoiding like triggers kama baridi, una dress warm.
Oh, so sa umejijua.
Umejijua.
Okay.
Unaanza kukunywa maji, like unazoea kukunywa maji because you're keeping yourself hydrated so that your cells don't sickle, don't start breaking down.
Okay.
You start avoiding certain situations because inaweza leta stress, which can trigger a crisis.
Okay, so now you avoid the triggers.
You now avoid the triggers na unajimanage, unajikeep warm, unajikeep healthy, unakula vizuri, foods high in iron. Yes.
So, okay, now I think now I'm in a better place.
Okay.
Now I'm getting to understand.
Yes.
Which you're creating awareness in me. So I'm trying to. So are there some of like the misconceptions tunasema about hizi vitu? Because now you're creating awareness about it. And out here, sisi tukisikia ni damu tunajijazianga tu vitu. Unajua tunasikia tu sickle cell anemia damu, hiyo ingine tunajijazia.
Yeah.
So now that you're here, we would love to know some of the misconceptions that people talk about the disease.
So when it comes to stigma and misconceptions, kuna different parties in it. Kuna the person who has sickle cell, kuna the parents, kuna the relatives, kuna the people you interact with, maybe teachers, students. What do they understand? How do they relate to you? Even church. You
Even
know,
in school.
yeah, school, church, all round. So now we can start with, for example, stigma when it comes to a parent to a child who has sickle cell. Number one, some don't understand. So think of the ones wenye wako mashinani. There's those conversations of umeleta damu mbaya kwetu, witchcraft, segregation. Yeah, so your thoughts are as good as mine of how mashinani watu wana suffer from that stigma. Then there's that one of you're the person who has sickle cell. So inajipresent differently. So in other people unaweza pata sometimes slow development, even when it comes to adolescence, before even you get to certain stages, it takes time. So there'll be that self-worry or self-doubt. Why is it taking so long for me, like for example, to maybe get boobs or something like that? Because there's that delay in adolescence. Because already in your system, in your blood, there's that drag for things to happen because now you're working with lesser oxygen levels, your hemoglobin is struggling because of the nature of your cell. So ni kama issue ya piping. So definitely wengine wata affect you in the organs. So you'll find some it's affected even maybe their body parts like the limbs, where they even have to get sometimes hip replacement or something like that. So you can get bone damage, you can get organ damage, you can get even some, it affects them in the brain. They get even stroke. Yeah, because now if that crisis happens in the brain, the blood cells imeshikana hapo, yes, that can happen.
Are there levels to this disease? Is there like we can say like a mild one, a medium one, an extreme one?
Yeah, so it affects people differently. Yeah, it definitely affects people differently because not everyone atakuwa na the same symptoms. Utapata like there's someone who maybe it affects them, maybe they've gotten bone damage. You'll find that there's some that are really affected whereby they get a lot of painful crisis. That means they're always like maybe in and out of hospital. But generally all over you get, because of the nature of our blood, you get a lot of infections. So that's general. Or you find in some, they have a lot of jaundice. That's the yellowness of the eyes because blood in a break down. So the effect of it is that there's a lot of bilirubin in the blood, that yellowness. Because
that yellowness
is blood may break down kwa liver. Yeah, so now there's that effect of the jaundice. Yeah, so you see, it affects people in different ways, but there are some things that are constant. There's that pain that is constant.
The pain is constant.
There's that one, the infections are constant. Yes. And there is that unsurety because you don't know when it will hit.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you started by saying both parents. So the cause, like when for you, sickle cell is when you're born. So both parents are carrying
The gene.
the gene.
Yes.
You have siblings. Am I the only kid?
Yes, I have siblings.
So all of you in your family have.
No, it's me. I'm the firstborn. Then my sister, she's late. She was also a warrior. Then my brother, he doesn't have the gene. So that means he's AA. AA is normal. AS is a carrier of the gene.
AS and AA is what?
AA is normal gene.
Okay.
So this is a person who does not carry the sickle cell gene.
Okay.
AS is now a carrier, like the parent who gives it to the child. Then SS is someone like me who has sickle cell, who is a warrior. Yes.
So how does it now from you to your kids?
Okay. You remember in class during science or biology, there
Biology
was that thing of uliacha.
But tunaweza endelea.
There was that thing of cross whatever for the gene. So let's say one parent is AA, then another parent is SS. So when they have kids, some of them will have AS, that
Others
is a
will have,
carrier.
okay.
Others will be SS, which is sickle cell, and a few will be AA, which is normal.
Okay.
So that's how it happens. So that's why it's important for a person to know their genotype before making that decision of going ahead to have a child. Because if you don't know you're a carrier, of which right now it's a common problem because of, rural urban migration. In Nairobi tumemix. So you might find someone is a carrier, hajui. Then they've met another person
carrier.
is a carrier na hawajui. Because maybe back then your grandparent had a certain issue, maybe they were having pains and they didn't know what it was.
But I love that you've said your brother is okay. So it means we can meet carriers and still have a baby who is okay. Like who doesn't have the disease.
Yeah. But now that one, maybe if you have children through like IVF, whereby you are able to control the gene.
Your brother was...
No, I'm saying, like, let's say if you're a carrier and I'm a carrier, we want to have children. And when we want to ensure these children don't have sickle cell, what's the only way we can do it? Through IVF.
So you don't just take chances.
No.
Like you have to do...
No.
But there are chances where you might get a baby who is not a...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So for the ratio is usually for every 4, 1... might not have sickle cell because now you're dealing with probability. Yes, you don't know. So the only way to know is first by knowing your genotype. Yes.
So I would love to know, and I'm sorry if I'm asking so many questions.
No, but it's okay. Ask because everyone is asking those questions.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm sorry. So how has it affected your day-to-day life? Because now I'm thinking if this pain might strike me anywhere at any time, I can't tell when, it must have affected a few things here and there. Okay. And I would love to know, starting from school, because maybe ni time ya shule ama ni time ya exam, pain inakuja, teacher understand. We are trying to create awareness. I can imagine how it was back in the day. Maybe say it's somewhere, but yeah.
Yeah, awareness is created through communication. So I can say like a day in my life, for example, it all starts with a good foundation. You make sure you've eaten a good diet, high in iron phosphates, to at least help your blood to be good. Look out at the weather. Is it a cold day? Is it a warm day? Dress appropriately, because one of the triggers are crisis ni extreme conditions, like too cold or too hot. Yeah, so you dress appropriately. Like even right now, the month of June, a sickle cell warrior automatically, because that's our lifestyle, you have to be careful. Right now, I have to make sure I'm keeping warm to avoid getting a crisis. After that, when you leave the house, carry a bottle of water. Hydration is key. Help your cells to move within your blood vessels. Have you taken your medication? That folic acid to help you generate more red blood cells, because already the ones that we have are a bit defective.
Like a supplement?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and then also there's a medication called hydroxyurea. So hydroxyurea helps us to make more of that fetal hemoglobin or the normal hemoglobin to now help these other ones. Yeah.
So on a daily, you're on supplements, drugs,
Yes,
and
there's
watching
that
what you
daily
eat.
medication. You have to watch what you eat. You have to check your mental health. You avoid that kind of stress. You understand?
That was my next question.
Yes.
Because mental health is key.
Yeah.
Because imagine, and I'm so proud that you even reached out. When you
Yes.
reached out, I wasn't sure whether it's you who is like, if you are a warrior or you're talking about it because you've seen someone. So I am really grateful for even you taking the chance to reach out. So the mental health bit, how do you cope with it? Because I can imagine you're trying to create awareness, but bado huku nje hatujui. And you see, when I look at you,
Yes.
I can't tell if you're sick, if you're okay. You just look okay.
Yeah.
So unaweza shikwa na crisis kwa public area and you'll be like,
What's
nini
going
mbaya na
on?
msichana? Because unakaa tu sawa.
Yeah.
And those are some of the things that has it ever happened to you? How do you cope with, how do you maintain your mental health?
So now when it comes to maintaining mental health, I can't lie that it's easy or I'm such a structured soldier kind of person that things are going the way it's supposed to go. It's learning how to live with that thing of, something that is different. You understand? You learn to live taking it a day at a time. You learn to live being happy in the small moments. You learn to enjoy the little moments where you can enjoy and all of that. You have to trigger your mind not to fall into the negativity of things like, every day, nini, this can happen. Because life is like a lottery. Hakuna mtu alichagua, like me, I'm tall. I chose, to be tall or, like this or like that. So you just make do with what you have. You communicate. You look for a good support system. You look for the people around you you can rely on. You can even have conversations with. You don't get into habits that will cause more problems. Because already, you're already taking care of yourself. You don't choose a friend that will land you into more stress. You have to be very soft with yourself. You have to be very soft with yourself. Because now if you fall into the negative kind of storyline, huwezi shinda umejihurumia. Huwezi shinda umejihurumia by the way. Yeah, you have to get up. You have to try and do something.
Na negative ndio mingi.
Negative ndio mingi. Na sometimes it's the surrounding environment that is now triggering it.
That's true. So you avoid that environment.
You avoid that environment. That's and also true. You become vocal. You become your own advocate. That's why I'm also here. You communicate. You help others to understand. You help even that mama who might land on this video and maybe they are in, I don't know, somewhere deep in Kilifi. They'll be like, oh, my daughter also has sickle cell. So meaning,
1 year,
yes, they can be able to thrive despite it with the right kind of support system. So that's what I'm advocating for warriors to be able to come out strong and for us to be able to get the kind of support we need.
What kind of support do you need?
Okay.
That was my next question. Because now you see, we are learning. And we are getting to learn it through you. Yeah. So what kind of support? I know that, mi naweza sema watu wakue too kind. Because when I look at you like this, Tracy, you look okay. Like, you are okay.
Yes.
But siwezi sema, hata kitu ikakushika, I'll be like, Tracy, ni nini mbaya? Because Tracy, you're okay. Even if that crisis pain, I'd be like, Tracy, do you work with something like inaweza nionyesha Tracy has? Like,
no,
in
that's
case...
the thing. In Kenya, we don't have that. But you find abroad... Like, for example, in the UK, sickle cell is considered to be a disability. They get that card.
Okay.
They get certain facilities that help them to at least be able to cope. Even in the work environment, they get that flexibility. So you have to ask yourself, how are warriors coping in Kenya? It's quite difficult. And when you're coming from a space where you need support, and then you feel again like you have to ask for that support. Yeah, it kind of like makes you feel like inadequate. So you might find warriors maybe don't really like the topic of, or don't see how they can approach the topic of including sickle cell in the disability conversation because of that. Because already you're doing your best to make yourself look capable. Yeah, you're
Because
strong,
there's
you're
no
resilient.
there's no physical appearance where you can say this one has sickle cell. There's nothing to, you see, like any other, maybe say Down syndrome, you can tell this baby. So,
and actually this conversation, the way it became normal in my mind, I spoke with a lady. She's a disability advocate. She has polio. So she's physically challenged. So when she came to learn about sickle cell, the kind of challenges that we face, she was like, in fact, sickle cell is a bigger disability than the one that we face or we see, because like right now, if you cannot control when you're going to fall ill, it might just happen because of the nature of your blood, then it means you need the adequate support, not only outside with the facilities that you're being given, but also in hospital. Do the doctors understand how to measure the kind of medication they're giving you? Like you find in hospitals, sometimes there can be that assumption of this one is just misusing painkillers, you know? Yeah. So, because you look at me and then I'm telling you I'm in pain, nimezoea this pain. The brain huzoea pain. So I wouldn't, the kind of pain that you would feel and you'd be screaming and rolling here, me, I'm already used to it. I'll present myself and say, doctor, I'm in pain. My pain is at an 8. Then the doctor will look at me and be like, is this one serious? You understand? So there's that need even in hospital to have doctors who have that kind of experience to deal with maybe pain management or deal with sickle cell warriors and such kind of thing. Yes.
You're really enlightening me. I'm like, what? I am getting to understand. I've seen it here and there. I have a friend who has a kid, but sasa, we really don't understand where to come through, what to do, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe we can discuss some of the things, some of the things that you people need us to. You see, when we get to understand, there's this awareness bit of it. So when we create the awareness, maybe there are things we need to do that can really help. Like you've said, there's an event that is happening on Friday.
Yeah.
Maybe you can just touch on it. So if we can get those donors, if we can get people to come, we can be offering help in one way or the other.
Yes.
Because some of us would love to help, but we don't know.
Yes.
We really don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So June 19th, as we said before, it's World Sickle Cell Day.
Yes.
So on June 20th at the iHub, we'll be having an event, a celebration of resilience for us warriors. So all warriors are welcome. Come, use your voice on the day. You know, help us to create awareness about sickle cell. And even on that day, any well-wisher that wants to come on board, they're welcome to do so. Maybe how they can reach us, they can look at our pages. It's called Crimson Courage on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. We'll post there maybe more information about the event, or even maybe we can leave some of the information with you.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, for those ones who would love to register, come on board, learn, even use their voices. We are also inviting content creators to come help us create awareness on the day. Yeah.
Have you seen, is the platform working in raising the awareness?
Yes, indeed it is. Because, you know, with digital, that's the new medium. From there, people are able to understand. Because if you look at the kind of maybe content you're doing, like, for example, there's a video we were speaking about some challenges that we face. Like, for example, imagine going on a date. Then you get a sickle cell crisis. What happens? Did that guy understand? Alihepa, even though alighost, what happened?
Kwani pain ikikam, there's a way they act. I'm a pain in as like
kuna
they say
venye
that at a 10.
Kuna venye, people understand their bodies differently. So you can kind of sense in the morning that you're not okay. You're a bit uncomfortable, but like, let me just go. Maybe things will be okay. And then ujipata umefika hapo ndio sasa imewaka. Right now is when the pain has hit. So it can happen like that. So, they have said people are different. There's that one when you atamka feel, and I feel a certain type of way, and then they'll be kind to themselves and be like, I'll stay at home. Then there's another one, they'll be like, me, I need medication. I'll take a painkiller. But there's that one who will push themselves because you're a human being. You want to go for a date. Sasa siku ya date imefika ati ndio you won't
Aki
go.
na tumekuwa tukingojea hii siku.
So unatoka unaenda. There's that one who will be afraid to tell the guy, maybe, I'm not feeling a certain kind of way. Or even in the workspace. HR is like, this one, all the time you're sick, you're at home, you're sick, you're at home. Because they've not created that environment for you to be able to work comfortably. Maybe you got a hip replacement and your chair is stiff. So it's triggering that pain. You see, so it's not an inclusive workspace. Or maybe, yes, you perform well at work, but sometimes you need that leverage to be able to work from home. The HR is the one who should understand because this is your advocate. But most of the times, the truth is, they do not understand.
Now, I'm wondering, what made you... I love how vocal you are. Napenda juu. I'm still staring at you and wondering, Tracy. So, what made you get to this point of, I really want to talk about this disease? I really want to share about it. Was it that kuna mahali ilikufanyikia ukasikia manze, sasa hata tu nikuwe naongea watu wajue hii ni nini? Because I'm tending to think kuna msee anataka mimi sitaki watu wajue niko na nini? Because I look okay, then why should they know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But for me, I think deep down it comes from empathy. Thinking of that mama who maybe is somewhere interior, ana access, or even the hospital anaenda, they don't understand what this is. So they are not getting the proper treatment that they need maybe for their child. Yeah, for me, caregiver support is something that I'm very passionate in because I think back then of, my parents, my mom, she was always taking me to hospital. Because of my dad, I could have a good medical cover. But now what if it's not there? What if the one treating you is not understanding what they are treating? What if that person or that parent is not understanding that this is a genetic kind of illness? So imeanza vita kwa boma. Or it started those rumors of witchcraft. You understand? Because even back at home, in the village, the conversation is not so open. You hear that there's certain homesteads that children don't make it past a certain age. Or there's a certain mama who's tried having up to 12 kids, but the kids keep on passing away young and early because lack of that early treatment. Being put on treatment is actually quite important. Yeah, so that's why I'm really vocal about it because it's normal. It's normal. Right now in the world, 200,000 children are born with sickle cell every year. Yes, meaning it's normal. Right now in Nigeria, before a bishop or a pastor decides to marry you guys, you have to show that genotype test because it's become such a big issue there. You can't just go ahead and get married without... Yeah, even if you look at the comments, it's common to see, do you know her genotype? Even when you see, those YouTube couples. Yeah, on the comments, you'll just see, do you know her genotype? Yeah.
And
so
it helps.
It helps.
To know.
It helps because we don't need to get to such a situation like India where the population is the most affected in the world. So that now our government can start putting priority on genotype testing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm quite vocal about it.
So what happens during that time of the month?
So the time of the month, that one obviously affects the blood because it's sickle cell anemia. So as you're progressing towards that time of the month, you have to be careful with the diet. So you just have to really make sure you're eating the correct kind of diet. At that time, you have to be, kind with yourself. Make sure you're taking your medication. So definitely there's that effect of having sickle cell and experiencing your monthlies. There's that effect. And also when it comes to pregnancy, it means before you get pregnant, you can't just get pregnant like that, or it can happen, but now you have to take a lot of supportive care with your diet. Maybe you need some supplements. They need to check your blood if it's okay. What do you need for support? Yeah, so it just involves that. Doesn't mean that you cannot get pregnant, or it doesn't mean that now because you're on your monthly, you're going to always get a sickle cell crisis. Just means you have to observe yourself and realize the kind of care or support that you need at the time, and make sure that you're kind of on point with that during that time. So that's why we even have those flow calendars, the period tracker. Yeah, so even there, because, even for a normal woman, as you get to a certain week, the energy levels changes, or even the moods changes, or things like that. But now you have to consider you're a warrior. So now you're including maybe a lot of mbogas, beetroot juice, you're juicing a lot, you're hydrating a lot. Yeah, that's how it looks.
Okay, to compensate for the blood.
Yes.
Okay, and then what happens to... I understand sometimes you might need some blood. So some donation, so you need some blood infusion.
Yes.
For all those years, what happens to that? Is there blood? Like, do you have friends who are just standby to donate blood?
So sickle cell presents itself differently in each patient. So for me, I've been lucky. I've not gotten a lot of blood transfusions. I think just twice in my life. But the good thing is you can always manage yourself by taking your medication on time and your diet. So for me, honestly, in management of sickle cell, diet has played a key part in what I do to kind of take care of myself, as well as mental health. You find that there are some things I don't do. There are some habits I don't really get into. Yeah, so just understanding yourself, then now you can be able to manage yourself. But therefore, blood donations, when it comes to sickle cell, is quite important. So that's why even as sickle cell warriors, as advocates, as even stakeholders who support persons with sickle cell, we really ask for people to go out there and donate blood, because you don't know who will need it and you don't know when it will be needed. Yeah, so just go out there and do your part.
Okay, I love that. I'm grateful.
Yes.
Then, in regards to the event that you're having on Friday.
Yes.
So okay, so when we come, so you guys raise money, you get donors, what is the money for? Like, is there a place if I'm a warrior that I'll get free treatment?
Yeah.
What am I going to get? What are you guys raising towards?
So this one is actually a really fun thing that we're going to do that we've done before. So back in 2021, we did something that even to me sounded like it was quite impossible. We did a 24-hour bicycle ride from Nairobi to Mombasa to create awareness about sickle cell and to help equip our organization there called SCAF Kenya with a sickle cell screening machine. So now this time in 2025, we want to do the same, but on the other side. We want to do a ride from Nairobi to Siaya that will help us to create awareness about sickle cell. But also in Siaya, there's a building that we want to equip and become a clinic that will now service the community. Yeah, because definitely in the area, it's prevalent to have sickle cell. So we already have a sickle cell screening machine that has been donated to us by Hemex Gazelle. But still, to run a clinic or hospital, you need many more other equipments. Yeah, so this will kind of be like a launch this June 20th. of what we are going to do in September, that ride.
Nice.
And that's,
Nice. So you're also
launching
going
of
to
that.
cycle all the way to Kisumu?
Me, I'll be in the support team. I'll be up on Yuma rooting for them. Yes. I'll be
Okay.
in that chase car. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When I was asking about your day-to-day life, I'm wondering, do you ever walk alone? Because sasa umeniambia kadi, there's nothing to show that you have this and this and this. So in case something happens to you, so do you walk with people always? Kama sai naona umekuja na bodyguard. Do you always move around with bodyguards?
Not necessarily. Someone that was really close to me, or I would automatically find I'm doing things with, even anything, projects, even like my boss knew her, such that he would call her whenever maybe I'm not on the phone or he can't reach me. Someone I used to work with all the time was my sister. And my sister passed away in January this year. Yeah, so for the first time, I'm feeling like, yes, I'm walking alone. Yeah, because definitely her being also a sickle cell warrior like me, she's a lady, we grew up together. Up to even when she passed away, we were living together. We had that bond. Siblings ukwa na signals. Even you with your sibling, there's a certain face your sibling can pull and this one ameboeka, or she's trying to say something. Yeah, so there was that bond of us being together like that. Yeah, so that's something that has quite even affected me mentally. And just trying to heal from that grief. Slowly coming out of it, being soft with myself. That's the only thing I can do, because...
How old was she?
She was 28 and I'm 2 years older than her. So we were that close.
Oh, for the last 28 years.
Yes.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Very sorry. So, are there places, are there places where you can say this, whatever sickle cell is a dominant, like kuko sana? Maybe just statistics. Say ati we are...
So sickle cell, if you look at it scientifically, or things like Darwinism and all of that, it's kind of like a way of the body preserving itself, especially in areas around large water bodies, like maybe a big ocean or lake. So you find genetically persons with sickle cell are around like large water bodies, like maybe places like India in the world has the highest numbers of sickle cell. So even in Africa, you find the highest number is in Nigeria, because you see of their location. Here in Kenya, you find it's predominantly along the lakeside, Lake Victoria side, that's Nyanza, Western Kenya. And then along the coast also, Kilifi, Kwale, along that coastline. Yes, that's where you find that gene of sickle cell is common.
But I love that you mentioned now that people are intermarrying.
Yes.
Someone is living Kisumu, another one is living Kwale, they're in Nairobi. So usiseme ati because I don't come from this large water bodies area, we won't go have the genotest because,
Yeah, you can't know. The only way to know and the only way to prevent it, number one, is by just knowing your genotype.
Yeah.
Do that test.
Yeah.
And there are actually places that you can be able to get this test affordably. I know in private or public hospitals, or even these labs like Lancet, it might be a bit expensive. But maybe I can just speak for myself. In Karen, we're able to donate with the Rotary Club of Karen a sickle cell screening machine that does like an electrophoresis test. So it's based at Maria Domenica Clinic.
Is it free?
No, you can be able to do it at an affordable cost. That's like at 1,500. But if you go to these other facilities, it can range from 7,000 all the way to,
Is there do you have a WhatsApp group? Do you people meet, like the warriors?
Yes, we do have support groups.
Okay.
We actually meet a lot. You find also we have organizations that support us. So you find some support groups are formed from just us warriors, others are formed from organizations. But it's a well-knit community. We know each other, we celebrate each other, we help each other.
Mtu anaweza join?
Yes, mtu anaweza join.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So watu wanaweza join. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we'll share your details, we'll share your number, we'll share the pages.
Yes.
You've said that you have a podcast where you talk about, you create awareness about
Yes.
sickle. So we are going to share all these handles so that if someone has watched this and feels like I need more information from Tracy,
Yes.
they can just reach out.
Yeah.
Asante sana.
Yes.
I even don't know what to ask because I'm like, you're so strong. Like even you to talk about it so openly, so like, thank you. And I know maybe people have so many questions.
Yes, I'm
Maybe
sure.
kuna mzazi hapo hivyo huo tu umetaja akona swali inataka sana sana sana.
I'll tell
How
them
can
to
they
come to
reach
the
you?
event.
Also, you
Yes.
like your details, we can share your details here because there are those who now want to ask you more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they go on the social media platforms for Crimson Courage, from there I'll definitely be able to pick up with them. Yes. On TikTok, Crimson Courage. Siku hizi hata wazazi wako TikTok.
Hakuna mtu yuko TikTok. Hakuna mtu yuko TikTok.
YouTube, Crimson Courage. Instagram, the same. Come there, let's talk. Let's drive the conversation. Let's get solutions. Even on the day doctors will come, you'll be able to ask questions. Yes. On the day, you'll be able to do your screening, check for your genotype.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, the day is on Friday, right? On the 20th.
Yes, this Friday.
This Friday, on the 20th, I have free entry, right?
Yes,
Free entry. And we need people just to come. Hata kama utakuja tu, hata kama utadonate, just come and learn. Just come and understand what sickle cell is. Like hata utasaidia mtu hapo hivyo neighbor. As you've said, watu huko interior hawajuangi sana hizi vitu.
Hawajui.
Like,
And
which is
that's why-
sad.
yeah.
Because
Yeah. So that's why you're making content that even speaks to watu wako outside. So you'll find we have, like, for example, an animation, a radio drama on sickle cell, about a child who has sickle cell, the kind of challenges they're facing at school, at home and all of that. Yeah, so just creating those avenues and good partnerships to tell these stories. Yeah, that's what drives me, and that's what drives Crimson Courage. And communication, it's exciting. Even you, I know you didn't know to learn about sickle cell will be this exciting.
And then the fact that you've had one person, you've seen it somewhere on TikTok. Unajua tu ile una peruse ukipita.
Yeah.
But then until it comes closer, mdoko zile za guy, where can I get this information? You see, that's when you're itching to find information quick, fast. So it's always a nice thing when you talk about it mapema. Ukaange tu kijua. Kama sa if there's a couple, awachi waamue waende wakajue their genotype. Then they find out that we are both carriers. You see, it's a good thing. Like, wamejua mapema, now they know how to handle it mapema.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I always love it when we get to learn. Yeah. Personally, when I get to learn, I feel like also someone out there is also learning.
Yeah.
So maybe one last message to us, ama to maybe the sickle cell warriors, to maybe the people you're telling the information to.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
What you'd love. I know there's something. Ukiandika your email, there's something you really wanted. Watu wajue. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Apart from knowing your genotype, be strong, be resilient, be empathetic. Know how your other person is doing. Just ask that question. Try and be close. Don't be part of the stigma. So sometimes I know it can be a bit hard, a bit challenging to kind of relate or understand how do you start approaching a person or how do you start supporting. But just being there, being yourself, being kind, you're already being a better human. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tracy. I love the part for being kind. Just be kind.
Yes.
Like, You don't have to see someone looking a certain type, like physically disabled, ndo ukue kind. Be kind all through and through. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your time. Trust me, hii itasaidia hata kama si wawili.
Yes.
Mmoja.
Huyo mmoja ndo
Na
tunatafuta.
huyo mmoja, exactly. Huyo mmoja ndo anakuanga like that is what we wanted.
Yes.
Like that one person mwenye atalan kitu apelekee mwingine ama atume hii video kwingine. Like that's why we encourage shares. Because I might watch, ni feel maybe hainifaidi, ni share. But kwenye nitashare, it land on someone who needed this information.
Yeah, or even an organization that can support a certain community somewhere. Yes.
That's true.
That's why
thank
we are
you
here.
So much.
Thank you
Thank
too.
you for your time. And thank you so much for reaching out.
Thank you.
I didn't know tomorrow we observe Sickle Cell Day. So thanks to you.
Asante.
And the theme is tell it loud. So guys, to share, to tell it loud. Share. Hata kama unaona ati please just share. Yeah, and thank you for coming. So guys, thank you for watching. That's it from Tracy and I.
Yeah.
See you next week. Bye-bye.